So natural remedies do work. But if you so devilishly do not believe in them, then they will not work for you. I was at the pantry, and I was telling this sister that blueberries is a natural remedy for the common cold. And she said, it doesn't work. And she said it belligerently and angrily. And I say, sister, take the rafter out of your own eye. Then you'll see more clearly. Because it has worked for me. So that was that piece I just wanted to share with y'all. Yesterday, I felt like I was going to have a cold. Like it was the beginning of a cold. But I ate 4 oranges. And the whole symptom, everything just went away. Just off my faith and belief in natural remedies. Instantly. Keep going, brother. All right. Now this piece that I wanted to do tonight is called White Supremacy. I prepared this a few weeks ago, and fortunate to have the opportunity. White Supremacy reads, unnecessary rebels, contemporary devils. Just if we be helpful, white supremacy everywhere on every level. See, we talk about knowledge of God and self. Well, when will we see an American evolution? Forget a revolution when just a tiny contribution will help our people in Africa. Food shortages. But all we're concerned about is stocks plunging and what George Bush did or didn't do. We need to be establishing portages for our own travel to help our distant brothers and sisters colonialized and exploited, thinking we're depressed because of their monopoly. If we but forget about their economy, put our little money together, we could do better for ourselves and other black supremacists around the world. Working in the matrix, hurting in their hospitals, dying in their slave ships, hoping a new president will make swift the change. But how can one change not merely for his people, but for all whose minds are feeble, the mentally lethal, while simultaneously jurisdiction conditioned and working amongst the evil? What is that but white supremacy? Hurting, irking, jerking, working, slaving in love with the matrix and these feeble, evil people so unbelievably late lurking in front of our places of employment, that place that is supposed to be avoided as much as possible. Yet we think it's fun to have obstacles like jobs they offer you. Nation building talking about we're conscious, but not knowing anything about our 5-year-old 22-pound nephew named Miguel. In Africa, food on our every shelf, but the American family solution is take care of yourself. How's that nation building? How is that consciousness? Self-righteous capitalists and exploiters, teaching, preaching, leeching, while allegedly reaching out to our people. To what people? People who already got. Rappers that vote hope, even though they do dope and pot, smoke rocks, but have enough money to do the same for you in his or her own mansion or crib. And not justifying homelessness or the circumstance that got the homeless in that position. But did Brother Minister open up his household to 2,000 poor people? Or 100 rappers that could have did the same for him? Or me and you in his or her own mansion the crib. You say, well, at least he did something. True. So how much more shame on you, the condemner who has the gumption to know the truth, but you aren't even trying. Dying working while others are dying hungry and thirsty and wish they had at least a quarter to buy a bunch of bananas on sale at Food for Less. You who have $2 in your pocket and cannot spare a quarter for your hungry brothers, how's that righteousness? You rather go get a job that pays $10 per hour or more, and there's more Europeans, more white people surrounding you than people that grew up in your neighborhood. How is that consciousness any more than it is white supremacy? But you say those so-called homeless just want drugs. Well, unfortunately, but importantly, at least they were drugged out of slavery. But you who can't even distinguish a drug dealer from a thug killer slave willingly. And if black people work less than white people, so more blacks are doing anything else from drug dealing to nation building, but mostly whites work. You who condemn the Europeans based on your self-proclaimed knowledge of God and self, simultaneously you slave for them while your brother is a pimp, your cousin is a thug, your sister is a prostitute on drugs. Hopelessly, you work daily with $200 in your, their bank account. Knowingly, you pass by your brothers daily, but condemn them when there's more of them in the hood than are at your gig. What more are you about, you self-proclaimed conscious brothers and sisters, than white supremacy? Self-subjected to pimpery, at their offices daily building diabetes, dying of beating, slaving limitlessly because telemarketers sit down all day. Yet you can't even pay rent, slaving in day pants 11 and 12 hours a day, but you work too much for Medicaid, barely able to get public aid, so conscious but unconscious that you're about to die in a couple of days. How is that not white supremacy? But white supremacy is deeper than jobs are liability, and I'm not going to be so self-righteous or tell you what not to do or how often to not do what you ought not do because I'm not a judge or a crooked cop. But how many clothes are you going to buy? You have 2, 3 closet worth of clothes and shoes and you've been stocking up for the last 2, 3 years. You should be investing in houses by now if you just much work. How much land do you own? Why are you still buying food? Did not you know to buy means to get it, buy? So buying is not the only way to own food. You should be growing food by now. Self-proclaimed conscious people building clubs and organizations. But if you have your own clubs, buildings, and organizations, then why every Friday or Saturday when I'm preaching to or feeding the people do I see you at the white man's club talking about Sally is a good bartender? But I asked several other lawyers who passed their bar exam, how was their bar exit exam? And they say, well, thank you for your concern. I passed, but the bar was difficult. So what are you talking about, Sally? I mean Rachel, I mean Matt, I mean Bill, I mean it's a good bartender. I thought the bar was difficult. Well, what's it difficult or tender? And if you pass your bar, why are you still at the white man's bar? That's white supremacy. You got your own bar now since you passed your bar exit exam, but you still enter their bars. What kind of example are you to those others in the bars that can't even spell bar? What did you go to the white man's school for? Taking past your bar exit exam, but you still go to the white man's bar. You just wasted all of your time. Gave the white man your last dime, got your free lunch ticket, but you still slaving. You should have your own bar by now, being a systematic, enigmatic, diplomatic lawyer for your people to help them get out of the matrix too. But you rather go work right from the white man's school, get your free lunch ticket, then go work for the white man, and then party in club with him for the white man at his bar on the weekends. That's white supremacy. We need to be more divine, but instead we're designed, confined, intertwined. Our abilities long ago resigned when it hasn't ever even resided, just waiting to be presided. Willing, ready, thirsty, hoping, praying, slaving, masons, eager to participate wholeheartedly in what the white man once made. Now he's our God. So money motivated for money, we even say we are the white man's creations in the world as his nation, turning on the news daily, anxiously awaiting the white man's proclamation. That's white supremacy. Anything he says or say do, we ready to improvise or make do. That's white supremacy. Subjected subliminally, unconsciously victimized by his pimpery, suits and bow ties religiously, dressed in prom attire to church every weekend, worshiping Jesus in the devil's imagery. No wonder we're limited beings, not knowing that even democracy is white supremacy. Because more whites still vote, more whites still save and hope for their plans to work and form of the new world order. You're the majority. But because you're subject to his superiority by way of your matrix Willie Lynch mentally unconscious inferiority, you believe you're a minority. So if he's the majority and democracy is majority rules, then how is democracy not white supremacy? But you vote for a black Democrat because you fear lack, not knowing Barack is not really going to help blacks. He's just a black face on imperialism amongst 1,000 times more whites who are evil. And he's registered with their national clandestine service. No wonder the Ku Klux Klan was destined to get him. So even though you vote for the first time and they counted all votes for the first time, your vote is still worthless because you will still be treated like you're worthless. But if they let the 70% of our people in that prison's institution out, then, just maybe then, you'll see that there's more of us than them. Even our land will be black. But you're in lack and you're a minority because you're down for white supremacy. Subjected subliminally, Willie Lynch killing our brothers, hating on one another criminally, impulsive conditionally, slaving intentionally, limited mentally, misguided parentally, self-subject to his pimpery imagery and democracy willingly, treading his ground limblessly. And I could go on and on breaking down white supremacy. But I'd rather not. Because I'm sick and tired of white supremacy. I'm sick and tired of white supremacy. Dear God Almighty, I'm sick and tired of white supremacy. What's up?
That's that piece, man. That piece right there. Thank you all for coming to this divine engagement. I want to thank you all for coming here to this divine meeting
gathering as masterminds. Marcus Garvey said something deep. He said, "One man is 1,000." So we don't need a congregation full of 1,000 idiots in order to nation build. All we can do with that is pass a plate around. We ain't gonna get nothing else done. Just give us your crumbs from the white man's institutions, and we're gonna put them crumbs together and make a loaf of white bread. That's the best we can do with a church. But when you got warriors together, efficient, proficient soldiers, we can make massive change. So this whole thing that we got to wake up all the people and unify all black people together to make change is ridiculous. Because the white man, the European, is not ruling things because all of them are unified. He's ruling things because as little unified forces that want to rule and control and govern people, they're working proficiently and die hard, non-stop, ceaselessly, consistently. They're working with those agendas. That's it. So all we need to do is get together some secure, strong-minded, divine, God-headed individuals. And just with that group of collectivized beings, we can do some serious, serious damage. Not only will we have weapons of mass destruction, but we'll have something better. We'll have weapons of mass creation.
Wow.
Definitely. And a weapon of mass creation is more powerful than a weapon of mass destruction. Because you can find you can actually find, locate, and secure a weapon of mass destruction. But a weapon of mass creation is any and everywhere those creators are. So that's really powerful. A weapon of mass destruction is an external object that we depend on. A weapon of mass creation is the mind of a God being who has become totally conscious and enlightened of themselves and their unlimited power and potential. So we want to come together as a weapon of mass creation. And by synergizing and putting that energy together as secure-minded individuals, we can take back the planet and begin to wake up the masses of our community and of our people. And it's a process that's definitely going to take its course and definitely going to happen, but we the ones that's going to bring it into effect. So we're not looking for the numbers. We want hundreds of thousands of people who can't screw in a damn light bulb. We just need a few people who are really conscious and secure within themselves, who are ready. Because it's one thing when you start waking up the masses of people and start letting them know, that they're God and that they're divine, everybody ain't going to be able to deal with that. They're not going to be able to deal with their own divinity. Some people, they find out how divine they are, they'll go off the wall, literally. So it has to be more than God consciousness, but it has to be an individual with a definite aim and a definite destiny to build a nation and to secure the people. If that knowledge and information is given to a person who is very egotistical, then what do? They can't use that knowledge and focus it like a laser beam to make something manifest. They just bounce off the walls back and forth. So when that knowledge of our divinity is put behind strong-minded and upright individuals, then we begin to make changes immediately within our community, and those changes are felt everywhere. Now, one thing I want to go into is that our challenges are not as outside of us as we think. We think of the FBI, the CIA, the Chicago Police Department, and we think of white supremacist groups. And we think of even Uncle Tom's and some black people with white people's faces on it. But those challenges are closer to us than you might even imagine in our own households. And those challenges are more dramatic and are more dangerous than the forces outside. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying? The forces outside got to get to you, so they got to come through the inside. Can't nothing get in unless it comes inside, through the inside. So what's standing inside to let it in? What's sleeping or slipping or doubting? You understand what I'm making? And whoever's sleeping, slipping, or doubting at that door, they're going to open it up and let the outside in. So the inside is more dangerous than the outside. As a matter of fact, as strong as the inside is as far as it can grow outside. Y'all know what I'm saying? If the inside is weak, it ain't going to reach too far outside because it'll get destroyed before it even begin to expand. It will be killed right at the door. The spirit of revolution is killed a lot of times at the door, arguing with mates and relatives and family members.